basketball. Give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Psychos and sickos unite for a We Are So Back edition of PHNX Suns, of course, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5, and get $200 in bonus bets. As always, I'm Eric, that's Steven, Espo, and then Ayrton behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. The magic is a brand new intro song, brand new music for a brand new season.
Ayrton made that?
Yeah, Ayrton was literally making that magic
on the
happen.
ones and twos, huh?
On the ones and twos.
Right.
DJ 10.
No AI though.
No.
Which if you know, you know.
No. Bleacher Report doesn't.
Disgrace to the craft. That's a whole nother genre and topic, but yes.
Shout out to Nadal, Sandman, Aiden, Dagoon. We got Sean in here saying Suns must win tomorrow. We are just over 24 hours away from game 1 of 82, the Phoenix Suns taking on the Sacramento Kings at home. We, of course, will have a pregame show, a watch-along, and a postgame show. Steven will be at the arena. But, gentlemen, the NBA is back. How are we feeling? Yes. Happy NBA is back day.
I told you have to end this show no later than 4:20 so I can get in my office and watch the opening to NBA on NBC. I need to see everything that they're doing there. Basketball is back, and I could not be more happy about it.
It's about to be a long season if y'all talking about must wins in game 1 of the
Oh, you're such a bummer.
No, I'm starting it off like that. Yes,
you're such a bummer, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a bummer. Yeah.
SMW.
I'm looking forward to basketball being back on the men's side, especially with the 4 teams that are playing tonight. I think there's a lot of hype involved. I think there's a lot of looking forward to in both of those games as well. And naturally, it's going to set the tone for what's going to be tomorrow when the actual basketball gets going, and that's the Suns over this way.
Real basketball. Ethical hoops.
I cannot wait to watch the Rockets get smacked around tonight in Oklahoma City. Did OKC win by like 50?
It is their ring night, OKC and Houston. That means Kevin Durant will be watching his former team get their first championship ring. That's at 4:30 local time at 7.
We got people talking about he should be involved in some capacity.
Which is nuts.
Which is
insane. He should be
insane.
handing it to Shea.
Like, man, if you ain't play half of the games, never mind. Go ahead. You got it.
And then we have Golden State and the
alone.
Lakers at 7 p.m. tonight. That's exciting. Of course, tomorrow is exciting. It's exciting to have all of you here. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. What we're going to do today, we're going to bring you the latest updates from practice on Mark Williams, what Jordan Ott had to say about the team as we approach Game 1. We're then going to preview a little bit that Game 1 against the Kings, then look ahead to the 3-game stretch the Suns have to start the season this week and talk about can they go 3-0 and what would need to go right if they did. And then very exciting, at the end of the show, we will be for the first time revealing the blue-collar boy spectrum, and we will be placing every single rostered member of the Phoenix Suns along the blue-collar spectrum to see who is the bluest of blue collars.
Can I run something by you, test drive something with you guys?
This is the perfect time.
Right now. Yesterday, what was the word of the show?
Alignment.
Oh, yeah. Let's. I was thinking about this last night, right? And I think there's only one nickname that we can give Brian Gregory now. Ayrton, do we have it? We had to call Brian Gregory the mechanic.
Okay.
Because he's going to get you a deal on an alignment.
You look so
right
happy.
there. Right?
I trust that guy.
I'm calling Brian Gregory the mechanic. He's going to tinker. He's going to get alignment and going on. So that's your new nickname. We'll bring up this image from time to time. The mechanics. You're in good hands with him.
You know, Brian Gregory, now that you unlocked a little thought in my brain, Brian Gregory looks like the type of dude who would own a very reputable local auto shop. And like you would talk to him and be like, this guy really cares about my 2015 unbranded car.
Hey,
You know?
I'm going to get your tires fixed. They'll be in alignment. Don't you
Hey,
worry.
We got a deal here.
Hey.
We don't upcharge. I'm Brian Gregory. Okay.
He's from Chicago, and yet we treat it like he's some New York mobster. It's great.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Steven?
Like you getting your mobster movies mixed up. You got the New York-based ones. You got the Chicago-based ones.
I mean,
our
you're
mobster now.
You're from Chicago. Does anybody sound like what Eric's doing there?
The Windy City.
You sound like you're selling hot
I
dogs
like
at
my
Yankee
pizza
Stadium.
deep. Hey, I'm Brian Gregory here.
You sound like you're from New York. Like you're selling hot dogs at
Hey.
Chase whatever at Madison Square
What do
Garden.
they call Chicago? The New York of the Midwest.
Did you really just say, "Hey, I
If you
like my
don't
pizza's
stop.
deep"?
That's why I had to leave him alone, because you're doing entirely too much.
You guys want to talk about a little Suns
Yes.
practice?
Yeah, please
Let's
change
talk
the
about
topic.
it.
You just messed that all up. The disrespect,
Hey.
Ayrton. Cut his mic off next time.
That won't work.
Yeah, it will.
You'll still hear me. Even if all of our mics were off.
Cover that up.
They find a way to hear me. Steven, what did you hear? What did you see at the final Suns practice before game one?
We heard from Devin Booker, also Iguodala, and the one and only Jordan. And Jordan in particular spoke in detail on a few things. Ayrton, we can go ahead and get the first clip up, giving an update on everything that is Mark Williams and what he's kind of anticipating in preparation for what will be his first game of the season.
Yeah, we know he's been building up. He hasn't played obviously in the preseason, so there is a number, a roundabout number that we're trying to get to. But again, it's how it all flows. We have a lot of center depth. We're out there to win the basketball game, so there's a number, but that's obviously something that we've talked about. Yes.
So if y'all had to guess around how many minutes do you anticipate him playing in his first live 5-on-5 action that's not just at the practice facility?
25.
Yeah, I was thinking in 20-25 range. Depends on how much they're whooping the Kings' ass by. The Kings also don't have Domantas Sabonis tomorrow, so should be a little bit of an easier matchup for Mark Williams to ease into before they play Zubats and then Jokic in back-to-back games. So I think 20 would probably be the lowest amount that I would go, unless they're just winning by a ton and he doesn't have to play.
Well, I mean, you got a 4-man rotation right now in theory if you're going to play Kaman. So 20, 25, split the rest between everybody else, let everybody get a little bit of run, and then kind of figure out how you're going to ramp it up. They know exactly to the second how many minutes he's going to play. Mark Williams is aware of that because this plan that they've talked about, I'm pretty sure that they've step by step walked him through it. So I think the Sabonis thing makes it a little easier too to experiment with what you're going to do at that position.
I wonder if Nick Richards is going to be key in all of that, because he had a very impressive preseason showing, no different than Oso, but for size purposes, for the lineups or for the teams they're going up against. Wonder how long this kind of stretch works for Mark as far as him playing 20 to 25. I think that's the target number they're looking for as well. And how much or who stakes the biggest claim to minutes when he's not on the floor. So that's something to look at. Ayrton, did you have any thoughts on the center rotation with Mark playing 20 to 25 more than likely?
No, I just feel compelled to put my prediction out there. I think he's going to play exactly 22 minutes tomorrow on the dot.
To the second? Like, we're not talking 21:59. You're saying
Or just on the
22-0-0?
box score, it's going to say 22.
We'll go box score. I'll keep it easy on myself.
Okay.
Smart man.
By the way, can we just take a second and welcome our newest member on the channel, one who's been around for a while, Aiden, a.k.a. AI Din, because he's so damn good at Audle. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Aiden, you now get access to a bunch of exclusive emojis. If you want to just let those go in chat, that would be awesome. And you can also become a member by hitting that join button, which is right next to the subscribe button on the opposite side of the like button. So make sure that you do all of those.
We're going to get an inverted pick and roll sticker for
Just
you
for Aiden.
to add, or emoji to add for you in the chat. We got you on that.
We got you, Aiden. We will be adding a new Suns emoji soon. So.
Oh, it's that. I just broke the news.
Yeah, it's just all right, guys. Spam your inverted pick and roll emojis in chat.
It's gonna be Steven's bucket hat. That's
That'd be
what
good.
what the emoji is gonna be.
There's a lot of different ways we could go with that, for sure.
I like it. A lot of different things updated at practice. We heard about Mark Williams. What else did Coach Ott have to say today?
He spoke and kind of gave some insight on what his approach to building out their lineups and rotations are. And here's what he had to say about that process.
You know, every game's different. Availability is different. We start with a 3 and 4. I think that's real. You know, tough back-to-back this weekend. But yeah, ideally you can play as many guys as you have ready to go, and then you feel the game out as it goes on. So we'll have a plan for 8, 9, or 10 guys, and then adjust accordingly in the second half.
I think one of the things we noticed in the preseason, one of the fun things about this roster is not just a lot of guys are going to play, but you could put together a lot of different combinations. You can go big, you can go small, you can go shooting heavy, you can go defense and length heavy. Like they have a bunch of variety that they can throw into their lineups. And I think that's why it's going to be fun to watch what Coach Ott does on a game-to-game basis. Last year, Espa, we saw a lot of starting lineup changes, but it felt like a certain somebody was just throwing a certain something at a wall and seeing what would stick. This year, it feels like it's going to be intentional if there are different starting lineups depending on matchup.
Yeah, I wonder how much you'll actually see change in starting lineups once you get Jalen Green back. My guess is that'll be fairly stable outside of injury. I found it interesting. You said 8 to 10, right? So Jalen obviously won't be playing, but who else falls out of that, right? If you're only going 8 to 10, one of those centers probably isn't playing. So come on, maybe doesn't play there. You're obviously playing Royce O'Neal.
I think it might be Kaman and Nigel that might not.
Yeah,
based off of what we saw in the preseason, it might not make that 8 to 10 that he's speaking to.
You think Fleming makes it in that 8
He's
to 10?
probably fringe, no different than those two are with it. But yeah, Grayson, assuming he's in the starting lineup, you got Colin off the bench, you got Royce off the bench, you got Nick, and you got Oso.
Yeah, I mean
that's probably it right now.
Somebody's gonna have to do something to crack that.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe come on, gets a couple minutes, just because you got Mark Williams on minute limits. But yeah, I think some people are going to be surprised that there are limited minutes for certain names that you think maybe would get some. Fleming, like you said, Nigel. I think it's going to be a little different than we think. So
for sure, and I think that's fair. Earn it.
Yeah.
Say one way to play more guys, be winning by a lot in the fourth quarter. You can get a lot more looks if you're going to be close against, and we'll talk about the Kings specifically here in a second. But and I know the Suns must win thing is kind of funny, but you look at who's going to be out there for the Kings tomorrow. No Keegan Murray, no Domantas Sabonis, right? Those are arguments for their two of their best players and their two best front court players. This is a team that realistically the Suns, who are all healthy except for Jalen Green, should beat. And a Kings team with Domantas Sabonis is a bottom of the West team. Without him and Keegan Murray, they should be pretty bad tomorrow.
And that's why you have to get out to a hot start. It's not a must win, nor is it a gotta have it game. I'll put that pin in the balloon for that. Sorry. But what I will say is that you need to come out, and Devin Booker spoke to this today, getting out to a good start. Some teams are not healthy. Some teams have not been playing as long as they have been. You have to take that extra week and a half to 2 weeks that you got before everybody else got started and use it as an advantage. Get out the gates to a hot start. Last season they started 8-1, I think it was.
Yep.
You might not necessarily start to that extent, but you want to be somewhere in the realm of that, being 3 to 4 games over 500 if you can help it.
I think it's not a must win, but you can't fall asleep on defense against this team, because I get it that the Kings are not a great team, especially with the injuries, but it's still DeMar DeRozan, it's still Zach LaVine, it's still Russell Westbrook. There's a group out there that can chuck it and put points on the board. So your defense still has to be on point tomorrow night. Like, I don't think there's any easy victory for this Suns team, because if you do not bring it every night, you will be in trouble. Just overall, you're not talented enough to win without complete effort. And I'm sure that's some PTSD on my part to feel that way, because I think this team's built with effort. But if you get caught sleeping, that team can still put points on the board.
The Goon with a great chat says, if we don't win tomorrow, it will be almost impossible to go undefeated.
Well, that's hilarious. Devin mentioned today at practice he mentioned standard a few times. And in particular with that, he said, for him personally, that's communication and effort. And he said that regardless of what level of play they can bring on any given day, they have to bring those two things and they'll be able to navigate whatever so long as those pillars are established. And that's to the point you're bringing up, to the point I'm speaking to with them getting out to a hot start. Maybe they don't knock down 15, 16 threes in a couple of these games to start, but if their communication and their effort are where they're supposed to be, that naturally plays specifically to the defensive end, and that's where they said they want to be one of the better teams at this season. So
you mentioned Devin Booker, and Coach Ott today also talked about what his usage is going to look like this season.
It's more about the group. I think Booker's going to find a way to get to his spots and make plays no matter who he's playing with. He can play on an Olympic team, he can play in a college team. I think he's going to find his way as he has his whole career. So it's changed a little bit, Jalen being a piece of it and Jalen not. Mark being a piece of this, as we're on the run trying to figure that out. So it's going to change. Whatever you see tomorrow night, how Book's usage will probably adjust throughout the season based on who he's playing against and who he's playing with.
I think that part that he mentioned at the end is important, but I think the part that he mentioned at the beginning is probably the most important, and that's that you don't just go at inserting a system on Devin Booker for someone that's so versatile offensively. He gets attention with whatever he's doing, so does he have to always bring it up the court? Nope. Does he always have to be off the ball watching things happen? You can use him in a myriad of ways, and that honestly is an offense in and of itself, because if he's doing anything, it's coming with attention, and that's going to allow for someone else to do something that they couldn't if he wasn't there or if he wasn't on the floor.
Yeah, I think Ott's whole system's going to be predicated on that. It was a term we used a lot last year, gravity, right? Devin Booker is going to kind of be the center of that, but it doesn't mean he has to do everything. They can use him as a decoy, pull that defense off other guys. A multitude of ways, like you're saying, that'll get him involved. I don't think he has to be the guy constantly.
He can't be. I mean, in the modern NBA, you can't just have one player be the guy at all times and win games. Even if you have the singular best player. Like Nikola Jokic has had plenty of games where he's just been everything for Denver and they've lost. You need to have everybody else, and you need to have those guys ready to play off of Devin Booker. So what are the keys to picking up a win? How likely is it that the Suns win? And what about the 2 games after that? I know we're excited about tomorrow, but could the Suns somehow start 3-0 with a pretty tough back-to-back coming up on Friday and Saturday? We're going to break all that down, and we're going to reveal the blue-collar spectrum. We're going to do it all after our first break. Tomorrow night, imagine this. You're sitting on your couch. Pre-game PHNX Suns is about to start. And you pop on a little Pure Edibles action. And listen, you're chewing on that Pure gummy. It's not covered in sugar like all their competitors, but they are a full-fledged candy company, so it just tastes damn good. Pure's effects are clearly listed on each tin, so you know exactly what effects to expect. From CBN to CBG to CBD to marijuana-derived THC, they have everything at Pure Edibles. And NBA. My personal favorite, IPA, which is a Tower Station IPA from Noble Road, they have a THC twist on that, so you can sip your edible instead of just chew your edibles. If you're in Arizona, swing by select local dispensaries and grab your Tower Station AIO from Noble Road. Cheers to happy hour all day, every day with a twist, and go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries across Arizona.
It sounds like you're saying government agencies there for a while.
Yes.
But, Circle K, my favorite place to stop in the morning or any time of day. Today I had to get some gas for my car. I stopped in, saved 10 cents per gallon because I had been there earlier in the month, filled up, went in, got my Coke Zeros, and I was ready to go today. And you can become a member of the Inner Circle and save on gas and great deals inside the Circle K as well. Just download the Circle K app today put in a little bit of information and you are going to become a member. It's going to get you 79-cent Polar Pops, 99-cent Frosters. You can get 3 Gatorades for $5. It's just that easy. And then they've got great meal matrix deals. $3 meal that includes a hot dog or a tornado, select Frito chips, a Polar Pop up to 44 ounces. They got the $4 meal deal, which is a breakfast sandwich, hash browns, and then any flavor, 16-ounce Bang, C4, or Ghost. I don't know what any of that is, but I'm sure it's delicious. And then the $5 meal deal, 2 slices of pizza, and any 20-ounce soda or Polar Pop up to 44 ounces. Become a member of the Inner Circle today by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply like everything in life. Visit CircleK.com for more details.
Thank you all so much, Kaylee, Russell, Amna, Aiden, Humble Rumble, Saint Tiff, Sean, Lenny. Thank you all so much. Cara, Melissa, Steven, a different Steven with a V. Thank you all so much for being here. And happy early birthday to Russell, who'll be going to the game tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Russell.
His
Happy birthday, Russell.
So super excited to have you go to that game and report back. Let us know how loud the fans are at the Morgue for the first time in the regular season.
Better be damn loud.
It better be.
Russell, they better be cheering on your birthday like nobody's business.
I mean, that's why they're all there.
Yeah.
You and 20,000 of your closest friends, Russell. Steven, you'll be there tomorrow, which means you will not be on our pregame show, unfortunately, which means you won't be here for pregame to go over your keys to the game. So we figured, why not give you the opportunity to make everybody smarter, as you usually do, and tell us what needs to happen for the Suns to pull out a win and start 1-0.
Yeah, keys, we started doing these last season. They will definitely be back in full throttle going into tomorrow. Key number 1 against the Kings, you have to make DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine play in crowds. And what I mean by that, they both love to play in isolation, 2 of the highest percentage isolation usage guys in the league the last like 6 or 7 years now. If they're playing one-on-one, they're just going to do what they do, and that's make shots and make tough shots. You don't want them to be dictating the terms of the game, because if you do, that's a way to lose. If you take that crowd, if you take that space that they like to operate in away, not necessarily send double teams, but find ways to show help in gaps, you have a significantly better chance of being successful defensively there. So start with that one. Ask for you guys' thoughts on guarding DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, 2 very different players but operating in similar contexts.
I'm a little more worried about LaVine than I am DeRozan, simply because LaVine can catch such fire from deep.
Yeah.
And the perimeter defense, it'll be interesting to see who guards who. I would assume Dylan Brooks on DeRozan and Ryan Dunn on LaVine. But if Dunn gets into early foul trouble and LaVine can kind of run free and get some free throws and start hot, that's probably the only way I see the Kings winning tomorrow.
Yeah, I keep LaVine out of the lane and try to keep DeRozan from easy mid-range shots. Like, you're not going to take away everything from both of these guys. I mean, I think DeRozan has a decade of averaging 20 or more points per game going right now. They'll get theirs, but make it tough. Don't give them easy baskets. And I think that your thought of making them work in crowds is exactly how you do that. So,
and then obviously the big part, you mentioned the paint touches from LaVine, keeping him away from those. But with DeRozan, the pump fake.
Yeah.
If he gets anybody in foul trouble early on, that's going to be a problem, because for as good as we think the Suns defense can be, if someone gets in foul trouble in that starting unit, that takes us a big bump back, because for Ryan Dunn in particular, they don't have anybody else that can do what he does with that frame guarding the guys that he guards. So
I think I'd rather have Dunn on LaVine and Dylan on DeRozan just for that fact, because Brooks brings that heady veteran approach to it, won't take that bait, plays a little bit more physical, where I think Dunn could keep up with the athleticism of LaVine a little bit more. I think I'd want to see those defensive matchups at least early on to try to prevent Ryan Dunn from getting in that foul trouble with DeRozan's head fake.
Melissa doing what she does, which is making great points in chat, says DeMar's Mr. Clutch, but Def slows down the game a lot. With the Suns' emphasis on pace, hopefully you can take DeMar a little bit out of his rhythm.
That's the hope. And we get to key number 2, Ayrton, looking specifically at the half-court offense for the Suns, and that's a perfect transition, no pun intended, point from you, Eric. You want to make sure that you're getting through the things that you want to do offensively with a certain cadence. If you play slow, it's going to be to the advantage of any defense, even if it is one that is going to be probably one of the worst in the league in Sacramento. You don't want to bail them out. You want to make sure you're getting to your actions with a certain type of cadence and just trusting the pass the way you did in the preseason. I think that was one of the biggest takeaways.
Yeah, I quick decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we saw everything just take so damn long to develop, or it would just devolve into iso ball. This offense seems like it's predicated on finding those few things that you're doing, moving it quick. If that doesn't work, moving into your next set. And I need to see that. I need to just feel a little bit better to get kind of cleanse myself from what we saw last year. And I believe that this offense is built that way, that you're just not going to see it get muddled and slow down. So
can I be honest here?
No.
So this is a safe space?
Sure.
Look, this Kings team cannot defend at all. And they couldn't do it with Demonis in the lineup, and Keegan Murray helped a lot. I like Zach LaVine as a scorer. I like DeMar as a scorer. Those are two guys that cannot defend, right? Like, they got Keon Ellis. And that's about it as far as defensive stoppers go on this team. The Suns, especially with having so much time to prepare for this, should be able to attack multiple people on the court at the same time in their half-court offense. And I want to see them methodically break down and attack this weak Kings defense, because honestly, this is a Kings team that I would not be shocked as a bottom 5 defensive team in the NBA this year.
Yeah, it's still a new offense, though, and there's going to be I know that they've been playing together since early September, but there will be moments tomorrow that don't work, regardless of how good the Kings are defensively, as you're trying to work your way through a system. There'll be miscues. There'll be some turnovers that you likely won't see a month into the season because you're still getting a feel for it. And as much as we like to think training camp, practice, preseason is the same, it's totally different in game one, and there will be some nerves from certain guys, some hiccups. It's going to take a little while to find that. So I don't want this false sense of security, because it is a fairly bad Kings team. Again, you need to execute on all levels, and I think there'll still be some miscues, even though this is a bad Kings team.
Yeah, but I think the other part of it too is you can't look at yourself as better than anybody in this iteration. So it's just approaching the work, and whatever it is that each game is going to demand from you. I remember the last few seasons, but specifically with Christie, they like to try to overload things at times. So trusting that pass to get to the second side or third side or fourth side, and then those guys taking those shots, if they don't hesitate in those and allow for the defense to get back into advantage, I think they'll be fine. But to Espo's point, it's a new offense. It's a bunch of new pieces. So they're going to have to take some time to work out those kinks, and that might be something that works to Kings' favor tomorrow.
I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to play perfectly or that they're going to blow the Kings out, but, realistically, there are two options on this Kings team that will be their starting center tomorrow night. Drew Eubanks or Dario Saric.
Hey, we know those guys.
We know those guys, right? Like realistically speaking, that is a weakness. I'm just breaking it down. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan's a game time decision. Those are two weaker defenders as well. Okay, Keon Ellis, if he starts, he's a good defensive player. He's 6'4". Malik Monk, not a great defensive player. Like, it's not about thinking that, no matter what, we're better than the Kings and we're going to waltz to a 20-point victory, but more as far as for a new offense, I can't think of, a much better, opponent for game one to where you can go, okay, you're weak at center. You're not going to have great point of attack. You've got some older players as well. Like, this is a team that the Suns should be able to take advantage of, pace-wise, ball movement-wise. And I like Doug Christie, but we'll see if Jordan Knott can outcoach him as well. The Kings can still win this game. Like, you could get hot from Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, but I don't think the Kings win this game with defense. I think they win it by one of their two stars getting hot and maybe Malik Monk as well.
Hold on, you like Doug Christie? If this comes down to
as a
coaching prowess,
I think Coach Ott's better.
I will run circles around Doug Christie. I don't buy into Doug Christie. Doug Christie is a guy that's keeping that seat warm until they make the next iteration of the Sacramento Kings. And
the
so
Bulls West, right?
yeah, I
Billy
have no
Donovan.
belief in that.
Come on over.
I mean, honestly, at this point, bring Vooch with you. Like that's what they got
I know
going
you'd
on
be
already.
heartbroken.
Okay, so anyways, Ayrton, key number 3 for tomorrow's game, neutralizing the 3-point line. Now, the Kings are a team that got up a solid amount. They have guys that are capable of taking and making those shots both off the dribble and via catch and shoots. It's going to look different tomorrow because they obviously don't have the hub for their offense, their actual point guard and Domantas Sabonis, but they still have 2 players that are going to draw extra attention, and you have to make sure you're early with their help like we talked about in key 1 so you can get back out to the shooters and you're not conceding catch and shoot threes because that's the most devastating shot. People think about the best players, but the gravity the best players get creating those catch and shoots is often what really hurts teams, and they get caught in limbo between doing one or the other.
I think you got to do it early too. If you can't let them get hot and get confidence early, you got to shut that down sooner rather than later. So you don't have time to get comfortable on defense. You gotta come out the gates. Maybe your offense can have a little, can take a little bit to get going in game 1, but that defense has to come out and play the way we saw it in preseason from word 1 tomorrow night to really set the tone.
Yeah, they have a couple players that can go off too. Malik Monk, especially if he gets hot from 3, he's somebody that's going to be tough to handle. Dennis Schroeder is a game time decision tomorrow, but we've seen him be an effective point guard in this league for a long time now. A very crafty guard as well. DeMar DeRozan and Russell Westbrook also both game time decisions for this team. So
age, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of veteran presence on this team, and you can't sleep on them. And if they do get hot or get up to an early lead, I don't know if this is a Suns team that, off the bat is going to be able to claw back from 20, 25 points down, right? They might need a little time for that to click. But, this defense, I think they're going to be so ready to play hard that I can't imagine that they're like lazy off the start of the season.
No.
Right. And all 3 games that the Suns won in the preseason, they out-attempted their opponents from 3. They didn't outshoot them, but they out-attempted them. I think they know that that's the formula. And realistically, I think the only way the Kings can win this game convincingly, like I said before, is get hot from deep and take a lot of threes. And you need probably 30 from Levine, 20 from DeRozan, and another 20 from Malik Monk to even be in this one.
This fan base needs them to come out playing as hard-nosed as possible to set the tone. They need to see that at home. They need a game that gets them engaged early and often. I feel like that is what we all need to witness on Wednesday night out at the morgue, because if not, all that doubt, all that crap from the last few years will trickle in, and this needs to be an inflection point. It's not a must win, but it's a must get the fans engaged, because that is the biggest thing this year, is ensuring that the fan base believes that you are out there to compete night in, night out, and to show heart, because that's what we've been sold on. That's what we've been told is going to happen, and it needs to start night 1 so that faith of this offseason is rewarded with it actually happening on the court like we saw it in the preseason.
And I think the other part, to your point too, that heart, that physicality, that energy, the other part to neutralizing the 3-point line is making some of your own while also taking away from your opponents. You mentioned them getting up more shots. They got a lot of those shots on goal more than their opponents because of the offensive rebounding process. And there's a lot of intentionality with that. So if you take away those extra shots, keep them to one and dones while you're getting 2s and 3s at times in one possession, that's a mathematically clear-cut way to go get a win. If you're taking that away and you're taking away volume of shots from them and you're taking more, you're in a good spot.
It's a must-win game. And, it's funny because,
Oh, my God.
I know this is
Cut his mic off.
Just hear
Cut
me
his
out.
mic
Just hear,
off.
okay, but I think you touched on something, Espo. I want to dive into it a little bit right here, take a break, and then kind of expand on it when we look to these first 3 games. But like you mentioned, this fan base is starving to see something that they're proud of. And even in preseason, like we could tell, we felt that ourselves here, right? Realistically speaking, you have 2 Western Conference contenders coming up after the Kings, back-to-back games. Okay, that's tough. This team realistically will likely start 1-2 if we're just going off of playing the odds.
Yeah.
Not that they can't start better,
If you're just basing it on pure look at the roster, talent,
You beat the Kings, you lose the next two, which, again, I don't think that's written in stone. But with this game specifically, if you do lose this game or you do fall flat, people are going to automatically, like you said, start falling back to the old ways. Whether it's fair or not, the PTSD is going to come up. And then if you're going to play two good teams, you could win those games, but who's to say you don't get blown out 2 games in a row? Then all of a sudden this team's 0-3. I'm not saying it affects them, but from a fan perspective, starting off with a win over a team that I believe on paper you're clearly better than, which probably isn't going to be the case for a majority of your games this season, like, it's important. It's not a must win, but this is an opportunity to make a statement for the Suns.
It goes a long way to establishing what Ott's trying to establish culture-wise, too. You come out the gate slow. If you wind up 0-3, yeah, it's not going to destroy the locker room. It's not going to change things, but it does make it tougher to for Coach Ott to go in and go, see, everything we're doing is working when you start out 0-3. You know what I could see?
3-0.
They drop game 1 and then they surprise in back-to-backs against really great teams, and it makes no sense whatsoever. I could see a lot of this doesn't make sense kind of games this year that happen. I don't foresee it. I think 2-1 could realistically happen, but there's a lot that is going to go into these first 3 games, and don't panic if you're 1-2 coming out of the first 3 games.
Well, also, don't champion too quick if you're 3-0 coming out.
I'm hanging a banner right here.
Yeah, we know.
Spot right there.
Yeah, we know.
Started the season 2-1.
We know.
Look real nice. We'll talk about who's maybe the biggest key for a Suns hot start, and then we're going to dive into putting all of the players that are on the roster on a blue-collar spectrum to see who is the bluest of blue-collar. So stick with PHNX Suns, presented by Bet365, right after our final break. Listen, you can always trust that I'm going to overreact to everything. And you can also trust that Desert Financial Credit Union is the best place to do your banking if you're a sports fan in Arizona. You can show your team spirit every single time that you use their credit union. And for more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better.
Can we just change it to 85? We know it's 85.
I mean, technically not wrong. For more than 84 years.
I mean, true.
It's been more than.
More than 85.
Maybe more than 86.
I don't know.
Because it's been going on since I've been here.
We've been,
and I've been here for 2 years now.
Yeah, we're just going to say more than 85.
Listen, all I know is that it's been a part of my family for as long as I can remember as well. My grandparents, my parents, and myself have all used Desert Financial Credit Union, but none of us were lucky enough to get what you get. And right now, when you open up a free checking account online, you can get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200.
Yeah, when Eric's grandfather started with them, they gave him a wooden spoon.
That was actually worth $200.
Fun fact. Let's talk about our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you. No, that's not an insult. That's an invitation for you to go out there and have a hell of a time at one of their 4 Valley locations. You got Wild Horse Pass, Vicuiva, Lone Butte, Santan Mountain. Any and all of them are a great experience. Unbelievable food, unbelievable gaming. It's unbelievable sports books. It's everything that you want. I recommend going out and checking out Wild Horse Pass, though, because it is the resort and the casino. It's everything you want. An unbelievable pool. Great food. More fun than you can handle. 4,500 live table games and slots, and the state's biggest sports book. You want to be out there. It's unprecedented levels of entertainment and excitement that you won't find anywhere else in the desert. Yeah, I said it, and I know what other cities in the desert, and I mean it. So you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
We're going to continue to look ahead at the Suns' schedule here, but let's go ahead and look to Monday on October 27th.
Monday.
The Phoenix Suns will be taking on the Utah Jazz, and we will be taking over Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass for a free watch party. That is right. Monday night. You can RSVP at gophnx.com/join. We will be doing our pregame show at 5:30. We'll be there before that as well if you want to come say hi. Then watch the game with us at 6. And then we'll be doing our live postgame show from the Upper Deck Kitchen and Bar at Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass. We'll have giveaways, food specials, drinks, all of the sort. It's going to be a ton of fun. over at Gila River Resorts Casinos Wild Horse Pass.
I think first drinks are going to be on me, and we're going to take a new
Oh.
photo because I'm like half the man I used to be in that shot.
Drinks on you, I'm
Yeah.
here.
Just the
I'm
first.
taking a quadruple
Just the
shot
first.
tequila soda.
Was CP still here when you took that picture?
Yes.
Well, yeah, you were well overdue.
Yeah, well,
It's been two
yeah.
entire seasons.
Yeah, well, and
Steve didn't even live here.
I wasn't here yet. Right.
almost 2 entire me's back then. All right. So-
Well, yeah, I mean, there's been a lifetime each season that's passed since
Well,
that
yeah.
one. So, yes,
yeah.
to that point. for
There's a
sure.
lot more gray here too. So.
So to
Suns
round things
inflicted.
out, on
Hey, no, round. Now we're making fat jokes.
oh,
And he repeated it like two
Come
or
on.
three times.
He just kept going.
that's
You
just my
heard it?
verbal
I said
I'm
round.
not trying to make fun
Round.
of anybody.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
I'm not making fun of anybody.
That's crazy. I wish
Jeez.
Megan was in here for this one.
Yeah, me too. She would say the meanest thing in the world. No, I'm kidding. I love her. Sacramento, LA, Denver. Really, really interesting 3-game stretch with 2 great teams on Friday and Saturday. Besides Devin Booker, which player on the Suns roster do you feel like needs to start the season the hottest? And you can determine that as a star in their role, hot on defense, hot on offense. Doesn't just mean be the second leading scorer, but play really well within what their expectations are for the first 3-ish games of the season.
Grayson Allen. Grayson has to hit shots if they want to even have a shot at winning 3 or probably even 2. At that point, you're going to be missing the scoring firepower of Jalen Green, at least for the first few. And we know that Grayson, Brian Gregory believes that he's going to have a career. Everybody's talking about Grayson's lost the weight. He's back in his shooting form. You need him to connect because it'll make it a lot easier on Devin Booker as well. So,
Yeah, Grayson was one half of it for me. The other half was Ryan Dunn. He can't be in a space where teams are okay not paying the most attention to him when he's one pass away or from the second side, because that means that Booker is seeing more attention than he should because of where he's spaced. He also can't allow for teams to be okay putting smaller guys on him or putting centers on him and doing the same thing that I'm speaking to. He has to be operating at a certain level, and that's not just knocking down threes, but knocking down threes is probably a third of what I'm looking for from him defensively. What's the activity level like for him on ball and off the ball, and is he doing those things without fouling? And then the other part is he getting downhill, getting paint touches in a multitude of different ways? He has to be in that space for this team to be its best version of itself.
Yeah, I think those are great answers. I don't disagree with them. I like Rudy in the chat saying Colin Gillespie might have to jump out to a hot start as well. Give me Mark Williams. Mark Williams specifically because the 2 teams that you're playing on Friday and Saturday, LA and Denver, have 2 great centers. The best player in the NBA and in my opinion, clearly a top 5 conversation for clearly top 10 conversation for top 5 center in the league in Zubats over in LA. So having a Mark Williams who starts off great out of the gate, plays hot, even if it's only for 20, 25 minutes, that's going to be an element that the Suns team desperately needs. And then the other name is Dillon Brooks, because we always mention, okay, Jalen Green's the second most important player for the Suns. It's like, yes, but maybe long-term, feels like Dillon Brooks is at worst the third most important player on this team. And in this stretch, for him to come out and to do what he did in preseason, which is establish a tone early and kind of be that trendsetter as far as hustle and defense and taking shots, it feels like it's going to be really important for him to start off well as well.
I just don't want to see him over-aggressive on the offensive end. Because we saw him, I mean, one of the preseason games, he had, 18
But they needed him to
shots?
do that.
I get it, but I don't want to see Dillon Brooks over-aggressive on offense. I want to see him over-aggressive on defense, but I want to make sure he's playing within himself, because he seems like a guy that a defense may challenge to be the guy to take shots, and I don't want him to fall into that trap sometimes where it's just, he's getting 18, 19 shots, it's eating into what Devin's doing. I want him to play within his game in that too.
They might need that from him with Jalen. I was about to say with Dylan, with Jalen not being in the lineup. I mean, because outside of Devin, who's going to be able to go and kind of create their own? It's probably Dylan's number 2 in that, unless you consider Grayson more apt at doing that. So your point is definitely appropriate, though. You don't want to see them taking things away from what it is they're working towards establishing. Other name I'll mention, though, Nick Richards, because I think he's staking the biggest claim of minutes at the 5 specifically, behind everything that is what's going to be Mark Williams getting his first kind of burn in the season. If he's what he was in the preseason, that's a big hit for a team that's going to need that in multiple ways from the reserve units.
Well, let us know what you think. Who is most important besides Devin Booker to get off to a hot start? Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Real quick, official record predictions for the first 3 games.
2-1.
2-1.
2-1. Bang. You thought I was going to say 3-0. You were wrong. You don't have me figured
I mean, you
out.
said it was going 82-0, so don't be.
Hey.
Yeah, you're smart. So you thought I was going to say 82-0. Nah, psych to him.
I would never say
I
I'd never say
I thought you said every game's a must-win. So now you got to make
because it's a must win doesn't mean they're going to win. But yes,
Jeez.
it is a hashtag SMW, a Suns must win. Tomorrow,
Ye of little faith.
I'm super excited for this next segment. We are going to not tier, not rank, but place every single player on the Suns roster across the blue collar spectrum. So it looks like this. We have light blue to white to dark blue with a hard hat. And look, we're not going to insult anybody and say anybody's soft, but there are some guys who aren't needed as much to be a hashtag blue collar boy, as Steven would deem it. So we're going to get into this, and hopefully this sparks some good discussion.
I think we need to define what it is that a blue collar boy is.
Be my guest.
Do we have the little definition, or are you just going to walk us through
Probably
it?
would have been good to have that. That's on me. That's on me, team. But the standard definition for blue collar is just a skilled worker that's usually skilled in things of harbor's labor and physicality. Like you bring that in a basketball sense, and you see those qualities show in the way that those players play. It looks different for every player that has it. People have it in varying levels, but the guys that exude those kind of hard-nosed, gritty, physical, tough, mentally tough especially, qualities are the ones that typically align most with that.
Who's your ultimate blue collar boy in your NBA watching career? Who defines blue collar boy to you?
I got a name.
There's a lot of names, and that's a whole supplemental video, honestly, but in present-day NBA, there's probably 2 names, Draymond Green and Drew Holiday.
Okay. So
Those 2 guys.
There's your archetypes.
Those are your archetypes. Those are like the toppest of the top. If you want to go a little bit recently, Andre Iguodala is a guy in that as well.
Give me Tony Allen,
Yeah, he's that for sure.
the ultimate blue collar boy. All right, I mean, let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah. Oh my God, Aiden! I swear I said it before I saw your comment. Aiden's mad because we keep on quote stealing his answers.
How about Snell?
Tony Snell?
Tony Snell.
Ultimate blue collar boy.
Quadruple singles is not going to get it done.
Okay. Let's get into our first player here that we are going to place on the blue collar spectrum. It is Devin Booker. Now, I'll be that guy and say he probably needs to go to closer to the far left simply because he's not needed to be a blue collar boy.
This is the dude that said I'll do it.
I'm not saying he can't be.
I think he's right as it starts to get into darker blue. Just because you're not needed to be that guy doesn't mean that he doesn't show tenets of it and isn't willing to be that guy.
Okay, but everybody on this team is going to show tenets of it.
No, I think that is doing a disservice to Devin Booker to say he should be further to the
So
left
you're going to
on
put
this.
him in the top, 25%?
I'm gonna put him right when it starts getting into darker blue, when it transitions into it, because Devin Booker has all the calling cards of a blue collar boy. It just happens that he also has all the talent of a superstar. So that doesn't mean he should be in the white. It just means that he doesn't have to lean on it constantly. Steven, you're Mr. Blue Collar Boy. Help me out here, right? Isn't he crazy to put him in the left?
Yeah, you wilding on that
Oh,
one.
thank you.
I think he's right where he should be at this present moment. Now, naturally, like we do with any of the other rankings or tierings that we do, we can shift the furniture around as we see need, but right in the middle, splitting the difference between a blue collar and a white collar, I think he's right where he should be right now.
All I know is that we're going to get to every single player, and nobody's going to want to put anybody on the left side of this.
Holy
Oh,
crap.
no.
I know,
We'll get
Charles
there.
agrees.
We broke Charles. All right.
Yeah, listen, Devin Booker is my GOAT, so don't think that I'm disrespecting him. But let's keep him right there, and we'll move on from that, and we'll revisit it. What about our next player here? Who's next on our blue collar boy spectrum ranking? It is Nigel Hayes Davis.
That's friends of the program, Nigel.
Yes.
Put the damn hard hat on the man. I think
agree.
he fits the definition of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely probably top 3 or 4 blue collariest boys on On the roster?
Ayrton, I think we need to go further into the blue with him.
Okay, I think again we can adjust.
There, right? Yeah, right there.
Okay, the deep blue.
Yeah, the deep blue.
How do you feel, Steven?
Yeah, he's definitely that. He does some things that don't show up on the box score, but he does things that are conducive on both ends of the floor to winning. And I think that's what's going to be what gets him into the rotation.
He had makes that didn't show up on the box score either.
What'd you say?
Bunch of zeros.
Oh,
on
yeah.
on
Yeah.
the
That's
shots.
rude.
Yeah. I mean, but
rude.
he's still found ways
Eric,
to
you
impact the
disrespect
box
Devin
score.
Booker. Meanwhile, Espo's taking shots about
Yeah.
a friend of the program.
He still made impact though, even though he didn't make
Exactly.
shots, and that's what a blue collar boy does.
Exactly.
All
There
right.
you go. Way to save that, Espo.
Uh-huh.
He's painting the picture.
Go super chat about your hatred for a player like Kobe Bryant. All right, next on the blue collar boy. By the way, I got an ASU super chat today saying, "Why does Espo hate Kobe Bryant so much?"
Yeah.
Literally, I'm not even kidding.
I'm glad your burner account is joining the
You think
ASU
I'm super
chat.
chatting? Blue collar boy, Grayson Allen.
He's ahead of Nigel in my book, slightly.
We're just gonna put everybody at the very
No,
top.
I don't think so. There's a certain type of guy, that I just feel it about. Maybe I'm wrong, Steven. I defer to you two on this. It's just my opinion.
Eric?
I would probably put him like in the middle of Book and Nigel.
Ayrton?
I agree with Eric.
Like
You're fired.
last year. Last year, when we were talking about blue collar boys, like let's just be honest here, Grayson Allen's on the roster last year. Didn't come up a ton. Not saying he doesn't do it.
That's
But he
because he
didn't
was
come
too
up with
heavy. He had too much muscle. He couldn't blue collar.
Blue collar boys come in all weights and sizes. We don't discriminate.
I think slide him over right there. Boom. I think that's
Right
a
there.
good
I
spot
like
for
that.
Grayson.
I'm good with that.
I think
think
that's
we
a good spot for
I think
him,
we
though.
should have done this like the old NBA Live free throw shooting meter, where we had to make Ayrton just stop it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'll accept it.
So
fine.
Grayson Allen is like a little over halfway there, probably at like the low 60% mark.
This can change throughout the season, right? We're
Yeah,
not just
I think
locked in?
we need
Okay.
to like keep this
Okay.
and adjust it and do like a blue collar boy
Okay.
like ranking throughout the year. Who's next? Wow. I mean, possibly the ultimate blue collar.
No, literally
boy.
put the hat underneath
I mean,
or on top of him. Like,
Yeah, this is a guy that definitely has an argument to be at the top. Jordan Goodwin.
I mean, he ended Jared Butler's time with this team with how blue collar he is. They went. That's the guy that we want from a defensive perspective. That's going to do a little of everything. Yeah, I definitely think he deserves to be in the bluest of blue up there.
Yeah.
You might be able to convince me to move Nigel down a little bit too
For sure.
as we get there.
He's top 4 for me. And he
Yeah.
might be like top 3 when we get said and done with it all today.
But this is why he's on a roster.
Yeah, it's why he's in the
because
league.
That's his most it's showable skill is his ability to be a blue collar.
I'd say out of all of the players on this roster, I mean, clearly he's the last guy to make the roster. You know, you have to be the bluest of blue collars for a player like him to be in the league.
Correct.
All the other blue collar boys we talk about here, minus possibly Nigel, who we haven't even seen play, have other discernible skills as to why they are in the NBA. And Jordan Goodwin is a skilled player, but we're judging him based off of the rest of the NBA. Dude just puts his hard hat on and works. Brings his lunch.
What do they always say? That guy eats nails for breakfast. Like, yeah,
Yes.
Goody's one of those dudes for sure.
100%. Okay, so we have him at the top. I like it.
The headband adds a little extra to me too.
Yeah.
Like a good headband screams hard worker.
By the way, the Warriors will be starting Jonathan Kuminga tonight.
Future
against the
Phoenix
Lakers.
Sun.
CJ Huntley. We don't really know that much about him.
I think CJ can go. CJ can be the first one that's around the 25% mark.
Okay.
Just because we have to see it on the NBA level. He didn't play that much in preseason. And there wasn't too much to glean from what he was able to play in preseason. So
I think that's fair.
he's gonna prove it. He's not a hard worker. This is you gotta prove it type of ranking at
Earned.
this moment.
Hashtag
Earned, not given.
Yeah. There you go. Wow. I got a Steven fist bump in show.
I'm
That's
surprised.
crazy.
I'm surprised Aiden didn't message that right when you guys said
Right.
that. Yeah.
By the way,
internet was lagging. That's what
the chat is championing you to be on First Take. That got an
Why
ooh
would
from
you-
Ayrton.
Why
Yikes.
would you punish Steven like that?
Well, I mean, I would love to do it because that means that we're getting more eyes back here when I come back home, for sure. So I'm not going to turn down the offer at all, but I'm going to be very JJ and be trying to change furniture, and that's not going to work. But that's why it's going to be a one-time thing. So
Thank you,
we'll
and
bring the
goodbye.
attention back over this way to the desert, and we're going to move forward with it. So, yeah, Stephen A., holla at your boy.
You would be the blue-collar boy of First Take, just doing things the right way. All right, CJ Huntley, our first in the lighter category. Who's up next? It is Kobe Brea.
All the way to the left because
Wow.
I'm just going to play into the bit.
He's on a prove-it basis as well. He didn't play all that much in the preseason, pretty much just the very last game against the Lakers. So I would put him as even to Huntley as you possibly can.
I'd probably put him slightly below.
Oh, Mr. Kobe Brea hater.
I'm just saying, so we're ranking guys off blue collarness. Kobe Brea's reason for being drafted, reason to be in the NBA is pure sharpshooting three-pointer. The blue collar stuff is the stuff that he kind of needs to work on. Huntley is a little bit more built for that. And by the way, blue collar boy isn't a player rating system. We have Jordan Goodwin all the way to the top and Devin Booker in the middle. It's just about how do you play as a player, and it feels like Kobe is much more of a skilled basketball player, unlike what some people on this panel think.
See, what dude came from Kentucky. He's a blue blood, literally. And you're just like, hey, I'm just going to put him way down there.
But when that blood spills on the collar, it doesn't stay blue. It turns red. Who's next on the blue collar boy ranking?
Not whatever you just said.
So I'll start this one. So Ryan Dunn, you are being challenged. First season was what it was. A lot of things were not the most conducive to someone being better, yet you found a way to do that. You also weren't given the best in terms of opportunity from what we felt like was earned off of what you did do with the minutes you got. So there's some ambiguity from that, but now this is a season where we all assume he's going to be the starting 3 or 4, however you want to look at that, going into the 2025-26 season. For this team to be the best version of itself, Ryan Dunn has to be number one. He has to be the most blue-collar guy. Canceling screens, running through screens, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, cutting, taking charges. If you're going to be an elite point of attack defender, you have to be one of, if not the absolute most blue-collar guy on your roster.
Have to be.
Have to
But
be.
is he?
And that's what we're getting to. Because at this present moment, he's probably top 5 for me.
I think
So
he's
below Nigel?
At this moment, below Nigel, I would slide him not that far right there. That's probably cool for me. But for y'all, what do y'all think?
I think it's right. I think he has the blue collar tendencies and maybe has the biggest opportunity to rise in the blue collar ranking.
For sure.
But as of now, not yet.
Well, I think you're 100% right. If you want success, he has to be number one because it gives you a guy defensively that is working on the level of Dylan Brooks, which changes the dynamic of everything if you get there.
Yep.
But I 100% agree. Still a lot of questions about if he's going to be that, and I think where you guys have him slotted makes sense.
And honestly, I think if you're looking long term, if he's going to be a piece that's spending the next 6 to 7 years with Devin Booker and Marlo Waj and company, he has to be the one that's kind of bearing those qualities that Dylan Brooks is. Maybe not in the same way because that's not going to be natural for him, but exuding those types of qualities that it becomes infectious. You see Ryan diving into the crowd for loose balls, diving on the floor, first to the floor all the time. Everybody else has to pick up the baton off of that. That's a level of leadership, and I feel like that's the most apt way that he's going to be able to grow into that.
If you're watching on TV, the party always continues over at GoPHNX.com. It's time for overtime here on PHNX Sports. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well. And make sure you become a member today. As we rank blue collar boys, we'll be back tomorrow for a pregame show, watch along, and postgame show right here on this channel. I don't know if you had something. It looked like you're ready
No,
to jump
just
in.
I was just gonna ask, like, to be a blue collar boy, do you have to be a villain like Dylan Brooks, or can you have, because Ryan Dunn comes off as somewhat playful in terms of off the court and on the court in the celebrations with Oso and stuff. does it have to be that edge? That's my thing with Ryan. Does he have to cross that Rubicon from happy-go-lucky in some cases to just hardened?
So the two biggest blue-collar guys ever for me, Draymond Green, Dennis Rodman. Two opposite sides of the spectrum as far as nice guy and mean guy. Very different personalities, but the qualities that they exude are the same. And I think other names we threw in there, Andre Iguodala and Drew Holiday, very different from either of those two guys. I think Ryan's more like the latter two than the former two, and that's okay. Because I feel like if it's natural, it's going to show. So Drew's not going to be someone that talks to you the way that Draymond does. But his impact can be as loud because he's so technical and he's so consistent with how he does it, doing it without fouling. I think that's more akin to what Ryan's blue-collar peak is going to look like in comparison to some other guys.
Yeah, I think that's a good clarification.
There we go.
That's a great question, though.
The SAR of blue-collar boys.
Yeah, I knew Melissa was going to love hearing Worm mentioned, so there you go.
Let's slither on over.
Miss Esposito, too, actually, while we at it.
Very much so. Very much
Oso Ighodaro, from the worm to the bear. Where does Oso rank among blue-collar boys?
I think he's probably right where it transitions from that light, the white to the light blue. I think he can get there, but right now, he does a few things really well, but it's not everything.
So if I said Ryan Dunn is more of the Andre Iguodala type and exuding his qualities, Oso's match with that would be Draymond Green. Not necessarily the talking side, but the activity side.
Yeah.
And because of the way he thinks the game through and how he's received by his teammates, I think that part is important. But also on the quiet part, no pun intended on quiet, but at practice today, he got brought to attention the allegations of being a trash talker. He didn't necessarily agree with them. Yeah, for sure. But he said he's more of an I respond type guy, and I think that matters in it.
I would maybe put him higher personally because he does a lot of that dirty work, a lot of that defense.
Ahead of Book?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. And I'm
fine
not the
with
czar of blue collarness.
He's on a prove it for me.
Yeah, I hear that. His prove it is a little higher than the other guys.
I think he's got to be closer to Book for me.
I think I would put him like, yeah, that's cool. I'm cool with that.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Cool.
All right. Who's up?
Aiden,
next?
what did I steal from you, bro?
Aiden just.
What you mean?
Aiden, what you don't understand is that what you hear from us is on like a delay. So you're saying things, and we have already said it into the ether. Mark
True.
Williams, blue collar boy, yes or no, Steven, as far as how deep of a blue he is.
Actually, why don't we just let Aiden answer? So since we're all going to apparently say, what
welcome to PHNX, Aiden.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steven. Sorry.
I think Mark is in a prove it realm as well. I would probably slap Mark between Devin and Oso.
Okay.
He has qualities that he's shown before for sure. But I think the more that he leans into those, and it might just be a matter of him being healthy and being confident in his health to where he now starts to play with that type of force that they're going to need on both ends. He gets there, that's going to be another piece that progressively raises the ceiling for the team. But at this moment, I would put him right there.
I feel like blue collar in part is availability. Like you got to be the guy that you know
shows
is
up to
always
work.
going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is always there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I agree with where he is, and a large part of that is because he has not been available.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who is up next? Oh, I mean,
This guy. Number one.
This
Yeah,
guy.
number one.
Yeah.
Put him in the helmet.
He's on the hard hat.
Yeah.
And it's not just for what he does, but for me, blue collar guys raise that floor and the ceiling for the guys that they're on the court with. Everybody's
out of
more
other
attentive. Everybody is a level of accountability that comes with playing on the floor with that guy. And he clearly is that guy. And that's why I said he is the kind of the bar that's on the Suns for what they hope for Ryan Dunn to become.
All right. I mean, that was the easiest one. I mean,
That was
not
lit.
even a conversation.
He's the definition of
What about this guy?
Yep.
What
Man.
about man? Is he a blue collar man instead of a blue collar boy?
I said in July that I want to see him exude more qualities of Tyson Chandler and Kevin Garnett. If I had to handpick two guys, for him to have their qualities, it will be those two defensive player of the year perennial guys. He's not there yet. And that's okay. That is more than okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what we saw in that last game against the Lakers with DeAndre Ayton in particular, which was poetic basketball from Suns' perspective, he's not scared to put his hands on guys and to also talk to you after he does it. So for what would have been if he hadn't shown that in that final game, him being at that same spot as the other rooks, he's probably split the difference between where the rooks are and where Oso is for me at this present moment.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, he might also have the biggest leap, like you guys were speaking to.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with him being there. I think that's the right place to put him.
All right.
We're getting close to that.
I know. That's why we're going fast.
I'm getting up at 4:18. I'm standing up and walking out.
All right.
I'm not missing the.
All right, then stop delaying things.
You sound like Kevin Hart in that commercial. You know exactly what I'm
Stop
talking
delaying
about.
things, man.
Me and Kevin Hart. That's a comparison I get a lot. So
okay, Rasheer Fleming. Is Rasheer higher or lower than Kaman?
I think he's with Kaman. He's the same guy to me, where you can see where he can be that guy, but he's got to prove it. So
he has to prove it, but I feel like the blocks that he had in the preseason kind of showed where he's at a little bit more than we've seen from the other guys that are in that prove it realm. I'd probably start him ahead of Book right now. I'm not going to hedge that.
Far.
I mean, Rasheer, what he showed us was great.
The multiple efforts are just what gets it for me. That's another common denominator for blue-collar guys. Okay. And we talked about it on the film session of him as a draft prospect for the Suns, and we've talked about it through the preseason with the documentable moments. I think he's got the head start on all of the rookies with that.
Okay, I know we're on a time crunch for Espo right now, but you know how the Suns are tweeting out, they're like, hey, we're 2 days away.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what player they used for the number one?
They used Yuta Tabusi.
They used Yuta Tabusi.
They didn't use Devin. They didn't use Amari. They're trolling.
I mean, that's so funny.
Yeah, because everybody was talking about we know who's going to be tomorrow and all of that.
And that's 90% of people have no clue who that is.
You could have used Dragic.
You could have used Penny.
You could have used Cedric Ceballos.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that one.
You could have.
Cedric was 23. I know he played in one, but he was
played in
23.
one. Like, you could have used Smush Parker.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Smush was there,
Smush.
Yeah. That's very funny. I saw that and I was like, I saw the notification on my phone and I was on my watch. I was like, is that Yuta Tabusi?
You could have used that too,
It's
right?
the first time I've ever seen Yuta Tabusi on my watch.
You could have used that, right?
Huh?
You could have used that.
Yeah.
Amari started Amari.
Yeah. You could have used Amari too. You could have used Dragic, Amari, Booker, Penny.
A starting five of number ones, and it's you gotta get a hat tip to them.
Yuta's got to be the most obscure out of number ones. Josh Childress,
Dennis Layton, Josh Childress, and AJ Price. Yeah. Okay, AJ Price not in our blue collar boy tier. All right, I'm good with where Rasheer's at. I feel like he's shown that defensive versatility. Who's next on our blue collar boy tiering list? Isaiah Livers. What do you think, Steven?
I think Livers is probably between Man and the Rooks for a blue collar.
Can I disagree here?
Talk to me. Of course you can disagree.
I put him near done. Not because of what he's done in Phoenix, but this dude fought through 19 months of not playing ball because of what was going on in his life to fight his way back to getting a contract. I think that screams blue collar in a lot of ways, because a lot of guys could have just packed it up and said, you know what, it was fun playing basketball. I'm going to go work in finance or whatever. I'm good. Mm-hmm. This guy busted his ass to get back. I think at least for now, I got to move him up further. So,
that high though,
he's a joyful lad.
We can put him ahead of Malawach if you want to go that route.
Yeah, I'm
kind of
fine
split
with
the difference.
Malawach.
Okay, that's cool with me for sure.
Yeah,
because it matters. It definitely matters.
Yeah, it matters. He's the guy that he's always happy to show up to work.
For sure,
he's always happy.
Well,
tell you what, that man.
I think a blue collar boy can be happy to show up to work because they appreciate the grind. Like
Exactly.
it's not about like I don't have to come in angry and pissed off. I'd be a blue collar boy and go, you know what? I'm lucky to come in here and do this every day, and I will do my part, whatever that part may be.
Look, everybody on this team is a blue collar boy.
Jeez.
Espo. Listen, for somebody who's like, we got to get out of here. You sure do love arguing about Isaiah Livers. Royce O'Neal, Espo. Where is he on your spectrum of blue?
Right above Grayson for me. Right
Lower
in
than
there.
Ryan Dunn. What do you think, Steven?
Nope.
I
That's
did
my
this
argument.
because I knew that was going to
He was last season's first blue collar guy for multiple reasons. I think he's only been outdone by the first two guys, and that's Dylan Brooks and Jordan Goodwin.
The headband. It's the headband. Royce just does everything, and he's always there. Like you talk about availability, Royce is always there. So I'm fine with him ahead of Nigel.
I think it makes sense for those two guys to be right next to each other, him and Nigel, because they're very akin to each other.
Espo Cara says that they just played the song.
Yeah, I need to hear the intro where they do the dramatic. One team just won the championship and they're getting their rings, but their former star is on the other side. Can he bring the Rockets to a title? Like, I need to hear that minute intro and then the dun 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 dun. Dun.
Well, I think we only have a couple.
Hurry it up!
We only got a couple left.
All
Again,
right.
you are the one who continues to delay this. I'm trying to move us along, and you're doing your
Hurry it
own
up.
intro. Jalen Green.
I would put
Come on,
Jalen.
guys. Come on.
I would put Jalen around that same spot as Isaiah Livers and Man.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he's lower than Oso. Yeah.
I would put him split the difference between Livers and Man.
Oh, in between them?
Yeah.
Have him peeking out. You don't have to move it. I like it. Just have him peeking out there. Perfect.
Dagoon says, tilt your screens and slide everyone to the right because they all need to have career years to get this done. Nick Richards.
Nick is he was a blue collar on Arrival for me last season. I would probably put him above Ryan, but between Ryan and Nigel is where I would have him.
I'd probably have him between Ryan and Grayson.
Yeah, I think so.
So we can move him like right next to Ryan.
Just put him and Ryan right on top of each other.
Right on top of each other?
That's cool with
Awesome.
me.
I love it. I love it. Okay. And then
Going
one more?
extra blue with the collar boys.
One more. Colin Gillespie, the guy who looks like a mechanic the most on this team.
Put him ahead of Ryan, right there, right
Yeah.
there.
Is he below Nigel Hayes Davis?
For now.
We've seen
For
more
now.
about him being a blue collar boy on the NBA level than Nigel Hayes Davis.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
It's
say
the
for
theory
now.
of the blue collar boy for Nigel.
I'm say for now.
Well,
You say-
it's less the. I hear you on the NBA level. I hear you. Okay.
Like
I step back for
Colin's
NBA
improved.
Why are we
specifically.
acting like Colin's like a 10-year NBA veteran?
He
here?
has played more
I
NBA
think what he
minutes and
did,
showed
what he
more.
did last season for a team that lacked that severely.
Okay.
I think that gives him a little bit of, but also
Fine.
making that actual roster after everything that happened with him early too.
Yeah,
Fine.
he's an earn it guy too, and I think
fine.
Colin's just proven a little
The
more.
context.
I
that's
think okay, so I think Colin is our number 4 blue collar boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch Nigel and Colin, and I believe that is I believe that's the last one.
No, there's one more. The mechanic.
Oh,
Brian Gregory
Yeah.
is right there with
Oh,
Dylan.
yeah.
Is right there with Dylan Brooks.
Okay, for those listening,
Jordan Knott is a blue collar guy too. Because
Yeah.
for those listening, I got to go fast because Espo has better places to
Move.
be. Starting from the left and moving to the right, so from least to most blue collarist. Kobe Bryant, CJ Huntley, then a big gap. Come on, Malawatch, Jalen Green, and Isaiah Livers in a group, then a small gap. And then once you start getting a little bit lighter blue, Oso Ighodaro, Mark Williams, Devin Booker, and then Rasheer Fleming. Then Grayson Allen just kind of by himself as the blue continues to get darker. Then you've got the darker blues, starting with Nick Richards and then Ryan Dunn, basically on top of each other. And then Nigel Hayes Davis, Colin Gillespie, Royce O'Neal, Jordan Goodwin, and all the way to the far right on our hard hat, it is Dylan Brooks. Any last-minute changes to our initial blue-collar spectrum tier system thing?
Yeah, Eric's all the way on the left in the see-through.
This isn't a skin
Oh, I thought it
tone.
was complexion.
This
No,
isn't a
all right, never
complexion
mind.
tier, brother.
Get it
Show up
moving.
to-
Come on. Some of us have
No,
somewhere to
you're
be.
the one who keeps distracting us. You're like, come on, we got to get out of here. By the way, here's a bit. Like, You can follow the show at PHNX_Suns.
Aaron, how do you feel about the blue
That's on
collar?
Twitter, and that's on Instagram as well. Thank you to Ayrton so much for making that happen and making all the magic happen, and for now getting to embark on his first season. I'm going to make this the longest outro of all time. We do greatly appreciate you, Ayrton. You can follow him at Freckled Mamba. Little known fact about Ayrton, he also designs his own jerseys and posts them on his Twitter account. He's really good. Like, it's actually scary how good he is.
I am retired.
But he's good.
I've
seen some of the mock-ups.
I need you to design us one now. Every win, you got to design us a new one.
We need a jersey for when the Suns media takes on the Suns coaches. But we definitely appreciate Eric. You can follow him at Freckled Mamba. You can follow Steven at StevenPG3. Absolute must follow as the season begins tomorrow. He'll be at every single home game.
I also had a Steven study that went up today looking at the preseason. So check that out.
Go
He's
watch
our
it.
blue collar. He's our blue collar.
You're going to be
boy
smarter
right here.
because of it.
Check out Steven Studies. More Steven Studies coming throughout the entire season. And, of course, follow him on Twitter, not just for updates from practice and from the games, but also for clips from the Steven Studies and breakdowns. He's a fantastic follow. And then you can follow Basketball for Dummies. That's at Espo and at ERIKRUBY. The last show before the season starts tomorrow, pregame. Be there and let's have some fun. I just wanted to keep dragging it on.
We all silly like the mayor.